welcome to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gary Morgan. With me, as always, my good friend Jim Stamm. How you doing, brother?
Well, my skin's still recovering from spring training. My nose is peeling, my ears, but I'm not going to complain.
You
At
wore a
some point,
smarter hat than Jim Rosati down there, so you didn't get that like half football on your head, right?
dude, there are times when I specifically take my hat off and let it cook for a while, my skull cook, so I don't, at least look like that. But yeah, no, the weather was beautiful. I think we're going to talk about some of that, sights, sounds, experiences,
I think
and
that's really where I want to start today. I want to talk a little bit about that, the World Baseball Classic, some of the ins and outs of that. In general, what as we talk about spring, what you think of the team, because I really think it's starting to come together. I really like a lot of what I see. And yeah, so let's start with it, man. Spring training, you're down there. It's your first time.
mhm.
You get to give the experience to your kid at the same time. So there you are, not showing him around something you're familiar with, learning it with them, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me some of it, man. What were the highlights? What did you love?
I mean, I got to tell you, we were down there for 5 days last week, and Gary, it may have been like the most enjoyable trip I've ever taken. I mean,
Great.
like I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. I'm kicking myself for never having done it before. Um, I am now hooked, and can
Especially you
even
live down in North Carolina.
I did.
I mean, you could have drove over, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because we took flights and whatnot. I mean, you could drive it if you wanted, but boy,
Oh,
that would be.
Bob Walk does, man. It takes him like 4 days.
Well, Bob Walk's kind of a psycho, so he probably enjoys just driving in his car, dead silence, staring straight ahead.
For
But
sure.
no, it was fantastic. You get so close to the game. Um, if you have kids and they're of the age that my son is, which he's 9, and they're into baseball or sports in general, like I just can't. And if you like baseball yourself, your family, just go, man. Take the time and do it. It was so much fun. The players were all great. They're good to the kids. You stop and have so many baseball conversations with people. You run into people that that you don't expect to see.
Yeah.
Just things like that. So like, yeah, it's fantastic, and plus you get to see there's a buzz around this team this year, Gary. You can feel the players are energized and feel comfortable. It's certainly the fans can see it and feel it when you're there. So yeah, fantastic, dude.
I saw Connor Griffin was pretty much standing along the fence for an hour every time he was done playing, signing autographs. So Ben
Yeah,
scored a bit, didn't he? He scored some merch, didn't he?
yeah, but Connor Griffin signed a rookie card for Ben. He signed a baseball for Ben. That young man, we've had him on the show, obviously, and he's just everything you want in a young baseball player and young person,
As we
um,
learned firsthand here, man.
as
Like,
we did. And I can't imagine the weight of the world that's on him, but he seems like he's built for it. For them to have guys like Paul Skeens and Connor Griffin and some of these other Bubba Chandlers of the world, like you know, there's just this is if you think about it, there's some excitement simply because of some of these young players are either close there, and some of them are going to be really good.
yeah, I was thinking about that because, I think it's easy to say that you think the buzz is because of all the free agents and trades and, the
Yeah,
new additions. And it is. It is
to
to
an
a
extent.
degree. But it's also O'Neill Cruz looking a lot more like a player. It's also Brian Reynolds looking like Brian Reynolds. It's also, you know, Paul Skeens looking like Paul Skeens, and Andy Rodriguez looking like he knows how to hit, and Connor Griffin making a push, like
and
like,
young arms for days.
Yeah, I mean, like it does feel different because it is different. I still think, like, if they didn't go out and get all the free agents and everything, there would still be a pall over the team. Just you haven't tried. But now I think, you kind of understand better what happens when you go and get some veterans, because there are players I think we're going to legitimately be upset get sent down, but we won't be able to argue against it, really. You know what I mean?
There's going to be some deserving guys that
I think you're right.
That should make the team, and in other years would have, simply because of the situation this team was in, that aren't going to make this roster. I will say the thing that kind of stood out to me when I was down there is the Ryan O'Hearns of the world, and the Brandon Lyles of the world, and the Ozunas of the world. They just look and carry themselves different. Like I think, like, people really underestimate, they see it as, oh, bat in the lineup. And you should, by the way. I mean, obviously these guys are accomplished hitters, but they just have a way of going out there about their business, and having been there and done that, established players, good clubhouse guys, and I think they all are. I think that's a huge difference maker for this team. I really do. I think the experience these guys bring with the production they bring, it's three big pieces, man, right there.
I would agree. And I mean, I think Jake Mangum brings, like, just a pest that this team has needed, man.
Forgot about him.
God, I think he's just going to do some dirty stuff this year. I was saying, I did the NL Central preview on my other channel, Locked On, and it's not released yet, but you'll hear it, like, whenever it gets released. We were discussing, like, what in the world the team was going to look like coming out of camp, and I was sitting here and I was thinking, I think it's going to look pretty good, right? And they did the betting odds, and they threw out this number that I guess was at the time where the Pirates were picked, and it was 78 games. And I was thinking, I can't make sense of, like, thinking that they might only win like 2 more games than they did the year before. Like, to me, I don't think they've minimally improved. Like, I think the offense is going to take a pretty decent jump, legitimately, with or without Griffin from the jump.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like, spring training is spring training. But
yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the free agents, though. I'm not basing anything on that.
Right,
I'm just on their track record,
Right. Well, I was prefacing it for me saying that, like, they've all hit the ball so well in spring training. The team has, they're hitting the baseball well, making good, solid, hard contact along the way. But I do think, like, some of these guys, it's going to carry over. And yeah, my biggest thing is noticing at spring training is there doesn't seem, now this could change, Gary, and this is what we've mentioned this before, is it is the honeymoon phase, right? Like, yeah. This is the good time. We're on the right track. The games are going to matter here real quick. And those types of things, we'll see. But right now, it feels like the organization is in the best headspace it has been in a long time.
It sure does. We should probably take that first break, Jim, come back, and let's keep talking about the team, but let's start bleeding into the World Baseball Classic, because we've had some Pirates action in those too that I think is pretty cool.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. the new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Somebody asked in the chat here, any word on Brandon Lau? Last I heard, it was just a tightness in his lower body. I don't think it's anything worth worrying about quite yet. At least nobody's said it is, and I think they probably would have said it is if it was.
It sounds
now's the time for that stuff, and he's going to do this.
Yeah, and he has experience dealing with it too. So I will say though that it's funny. Greg mentions that because I was thinking yesterday, and God, I shouldn't say this, knock on wood, but boy, we haven't had any type of injury issues. We haven't had
not much. Yeah, there was Brannigan got smacked in the nose with a baseball, right, and Harbin had something going on, some kind of a strain or something. Very
little, and very no offense to those guys, not of the big, the nucleus that we're talking about. Right. And you're seeing this pop up. Well, you do every spring training, whether it's the Reds with Hunter Green. Yeah. I mean, that's rough. We just dealt with it with Jared Jones last year.
The Brewers are probably starting the season with Woodford and Priester on the IL.
Oh, really? I didn't see that about Priester.
Priester's had a wrist injury all spring. He hasn't even thrown.
Okay. Yeah. So again, like when you're talking about teams, especially like the Pirates, yes, they have more depth than they have had in years past, but we certainly don't need to be waking up reading anything about certain guys. And
and it feels a little disingenuous to talk about pitching depth when there's such a kind of night after drinking taste in your mouth about filling the fifth rotation spot right now. Like they haven't brought in a free agent like they were talking about. I don't think Connor Barco is going to win it. I really don't. I think he's walking too many guys probably to get that spot as a rookie. Urquidy, okay. Clevenger, okay. Davis was really good yesterday, but I don't know, man. Like it feels like going for it, you probably have a defined fifth starter, right? I mean, like maybe it's Majinski and we're just all overthinking it, and that's what they're gonna do. But
yeah, no, it is the one thing I think that as you see everything start to crystallize, in heading in the last couple weeks here of spring training, feels like that one thing that they probably could have tried a little harder to fill in free agency over the off season. Maybe they just feel like they have enough arms by committee and they feel comfortable that they can do it that way, or that someone will step up.
They might, or maybe they're waiting for somebody to fall off a roster late here in spring, and they're already cooked as far as like being warmed up and stretched and ready to go. They just didn't make a team. And I mean, you look at some of these clubs, like, if the Orioles were healthy, they probably have 8 starters, and I don't think they can use them all. There's something going on with Lucas Giolito that people don't like, I'm guessing he's holding out for like multi-year deal or whatever, you know what I mean? Things like that. But yeah, I don't know, man.
And I would say this too is like, spring training stuff, if you're going to say it doesn't really matter, you keep that across the board for the good and the bad. It can't just be like you only dismiss the good. Well, we've seen pitchers struggle, and like I have not been super impressed with Urquidy. You know what I mean? Like but it is spring training, and maybe this won't be the version you'd see as the season started.
I mean, I've been intrigued mostly, I would say. Well, first, Noah Davis probably had, aside from Paul Skeens or Mitch Keller, the best start this spring of any pitcher they've thrown out there. I mean,
Mhm.
he was great until he gave up a 3-run homer trying for a 5th inning. But that's after this is his first start. So they're trying to push him as fast as they can because they started so late in the game with even taking a look at him, really. So they've been doing some good things in the backfield and the side to kind of get some interest, you know what I mean? So if they're that interested, I expect to see another start from him. That probably means that they're thinking internal at least, right? Even if it's going to be a piggyback. Urquidy hasn't interested me. Clevenger, though,
Yeah, let's talk about him.
healthy now. He used to always be like a 93, 94 guy. Now he's like hitting 96, 97. He's got a lot more movement. He's healthy.
Mhm.
That might be a sleeper pick.
Interestingly enough, while I was down there in Bradenton, he did start one of the games. So that was really helpful for me to get a good look at him. It did surprise me. He was at 95 and 96 quite a bit. Looks totally uncomfortable doing anything, by the way.
But he always has.
I know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird to see. Because
did you see him imitate Kimbrel? Like when later in the game, just to mess with the hitter, he kind of leaned over like Kimbrel and then like stood up and threw the pitch.
No, I didn't, but it doesn't surprise me. He's an interesting guy. Yeah, I kind of dismissed him when he got the invite. I don't think we should. He's healthy and his velocity's up right there. And he's got experience. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, I mean, like you figure, like what's behind them? Urquidy's already on the 40-man. Clevenger would need added to the 40-man.
That's a good point.
So he's got that barrier, right? Noah Davis would need added to the 40-man, correct? So that's 2 guys that kind of have a strike against them in that regard. That said, if you want to deepen out a bullpen, and you have some guys that have some options, you might want to do some things like that, and I don't know if there's somebody borderline you could jettison. Maybe like, let's say Emmanuel Valdez doesn't make the team, like bye, or because you're not going to let go of Callahan, you just picked him up. So I mean, I would think like that probably makes Emmanuel Valdez dispensable. Or I hate to say it because he's been great this spring, Billy Cook. Guys like that start falling off at the bottom.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Billy Cook's 27 years old, and yeah, he's having a decent spring.
Yeah.
It's harder. I'll tell you. We used to do. We have done those. The 45 or 40-man roster situations and all that, and it was not easy, but it was easier. It's not so much anymore, which is great.
Well, we got here from Tony. Do we suspect that Connor Griffin will get Paul Skeen's approach down in AAA? You know what they did with him. I don't know if I suspect anything, Tony. I kind of think that's where I'm at with Connor Griffin. I really think they're kind of letting the spring talk to them. And here's the evidence that you really need. The date has already passed in which if he gets injured at this point, they have to put him on the 40-man and start his clock. He's still here. That tells you that he's got every opportunity to win a spot, and they're giving it to him. That said, he's hitting under 200. And I know where we are on batting average, and I know he's hit 3 home runs, and I know that he's the most exciting prospect in baseball. I know all that. I also know that he's only had about 100 at bats, past high A, and Ben Cherington's not wrong for pointing it out. I don't want to say that I expect or suspect anything, because I don't think anybody's putting their thumb on the scale here, Jim. I think they're letting the kid determine it.
100%. 100%.
And don't get me wrong, too. It's not about, is he better than Nick Gonzalez? That can be true right frickin' now. And he still needs to go to AAA.
Right.
That's something important to get through your skull if you don't already have it there.
Yeah, this is about Connor Griffin. It's not about what the Pirates need right this second. It's not about whether he's better than someone else right this second. Yeah, I will say that, being down there in spring training and having talked to quite a few people in and around the team, it really felt like there was a open-mindedness about it all. No one had a real good inkling of where it was going to go, and that's simply because I don't think the Pirates know. They might be getting a better idea about where it's going to go, but it's very open-ended on the Pirates end from what I believe and what people were telling me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all I can say is that I have not heard anybody even hint to me that he wasn't getting a real shot. Now, that said, I feel like they have a decision in mind. I think that they believe he's going to go to AAA. I think that's the default. I think that's where they are sitting, and they're waiting for him to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. We talked about this before it even started. He was going to have to be awesome. And listen, he's been really good, but he hasn't been awesome. Let's be real.
Uh-huh.
He's hit a few home runs. He had a bloop double. He had a nice single. He's played good defense. He definitely has some work to do on his transfer. He really does. He's talented as hell, and he'll make up for most things. But if you want to get from where he is to Bobby Witt, he's got a couple things to work on.
Sure. He's 19.
Yeah.
That's just to be expected.
I think that's all I'm saying is, like, I can understand why he might need some AAA seasoning. And it will just never be an argument about whether he's better than anybody here. I think we know what that answer is already, is the point.
Yeah, and the beauty of this situation is, I think if you can make an argument that he should be here, and you can make the argument that it probably wouldn't be a bad idea for him to go down and start in AAA. I'm of the opinion personally that I think he's the type of guy that will adjust on the fly and learn, and you don't have to worry about it so much. But I won't be upset if they take that route and he starts down there.
I could go either way. Yeah. But I can tell you one thing is for sure, whether it's right or wrong. If he's hitting under 200, he will not go north. I'm sorry. The easiest decision in the world is to send him down. You can't have that. Got to be 270-ish, 275, something like that. Then you justify everything else. And I know we're an OPS world. Just say it.
I think these last couple weeks are really big for Connor.
I think it's important to notice who they play him with too, because I think I've been seeing him with the travel team a heck of a lot more often than I'm seeing him with the proposed team, and that matters. Garcia's gotten the same treatment.
Yeah, we're obviously trying to look for the little hints and the clues. Yeah, and I mean, they'd want him swinging the bat well if heading into the season, if they're going to put him on the opening day roster. So the next, couple weeks, I don't know how many at bats they have planned out for him over this stretch, but he's still here. He's survived the number of cut downs to this point. I hope they give him tons of at bats. I really do.
I hope they do too, man. Going to be a lot of fun to keep watching it. What do you say, Jim? Is it time to rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah, we buried the. We didn't even
We
bury
buried the
it.
lead.
We didn't even
And
bury it. We just ignored it because I think we're both dreading.
we're both trying to put it off, right? Well, I named the show Finn for a reason, because this is the last Pirates Fan Forum episode on DK Pittsburgh Sports. I haven't even told DK Pittsburgh Sports yet, guys.
That's how we roll.
I mean, like, I'm going to, but hey, cheers, my friend.
Oh man. Nice.
A mango for you.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, just so everybody doesn't do the rumor mill thing, Jim and I are still friends. We're not fighting or nothing. Jim just has another opportunity. I'll let him tell you about it if he'd like. And I'm tired. I don't have time to restart this thing, guys. I have another channel I'm running, and it's not like Jim and I won't still talk. And I have another show. He can literally come on it anytime he likes. So, like, we'll still talk.
Yeah, listen, hey, yeah, like before I get into the little bit of news here, man, God, Gary, we've been doing this for 5 years. What an incredible run that has been. And hey, Mike Tomlin can't last forever. As head coach of the Steelers, we can't. We knew at some point there'd be an ending point. You have worked your ass off at Locked On, and you've grown that, and you put out great content, and it takes a lot of your time and energy. And I think when it comes down to it, you have done such a good job on that end. I've got an opportunity. Yes, it's with Bucko Banter. Just I'll throw it out there. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Me and the fellows at Bucko Banter are going to be doing some things. We'll probably still, Gary and I, do some crossover stuff. And, sometimes you just move on, outgrow things. And I think that's the time that we're at with this. So,
yeah, I mean, I think, like, first of all, we should thank Graves for helping us start this show. Mm-hmm. We started this show. Geez, we didn't even have a home when we started this show. I literally just met Jim online on X and made friends with him. And basically was like, this dude doesn't seem crazy. Let me ask him if he wants to do a podcast.
Now you know differently, but at the time you did not.
Yeah, so I approached you and Graves. Mm-hmm. And, man, when we started it out, we were kind of like alternating week to week. And then DK gave us a little place to put it up. I don't even think he had other podcasts going on quite yet, or he had just started his. And, man, we did the whole channel. I mean, we had so much fun here doing all the things we've done. We talked to Connor Griffin. We've talked to, like,
former players, coaches.
Former players. Geez, Mike DeCourcy just last week. Eric Minshaw. Scott from, the Pirates hitting coach in AA. We've had so many great guests. And then the purpose of the show originally was we wanted to have, like, regular fans on with us. And we really did for quite some time. James Littleton.
Yark.
Jeez. Yark. How many times we had Yark on? My goodness. One time he waited on hold for like almost an hour to get on. I think like the 100th episode or something. Man, we've had so many. Douglas Smith. Actually, Dougie Fresh from North Shore 9 was on here first. Remember, we had him a couple times?
Yes.
And we probably gave some people the bug to go start this crap, right?
Yeah. So I remember when we had the fellows from Bucko Banter on, when they were just starting off and getting their thing rolling. And so it's just, we've met a ton of great people. I hope you guys have enjoyed like all the kind of insight that Gary and I bring to things. And some of the interviews we've been able to do over the years, because we've enjoyed the hell out of them. I don't know if other people do, but we've always had a blast. And, it's been a long run. And I think
5 years is a long time in this little space. You know what I mean? And we took over really covering a team that was completely out of sorts and dismantled, and we followed it this far. And as they get ready to butterfly off and turn into something else, man, like maybe we should too. It's okay. We'll still talk and everything. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a goodbye so much. It's not. I mean, I'm still around 5 days a week. Have at it. But, I will miss our conversations every week that kept me sane sometimes. I can't tell you how many subjects throughout the years you have changed my mind on. And I don't say this like to sound as pompous as it's going to sound, but when I finally land on a side pretty firmly, it's pretty hard to shake me. I've usually done my investigation to get there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you're one of the very few people in the world who's able to throw me something that just hits me the right way and knocks me off my balance and makes me rethink it. I will miss that on a weekly basis, man. For real.
Yeah,
it's always been great.
The in-depth conversations that we've had with each other and our guests, be it fans or pros and people that have been in this game.
Travis Snyder, we should have mentioned, by the way. My God, we've had him on a couple times.
Yeah, Travis Snyder and the Chad Hermansons of the world, and even some of the people outside the Pirate sphere like Greg Olson and just all kinds of people and people, I think about even like, Scott Nelson passed, and he was such a big part and fan of the show. And that's when you do it for 5 years like this, that there's a lot of good and bad and sad sometimes. So just everybody, it's just been a very reflective day for me. And Garrett, I just want to say to you, like, I don't know if I'd be in this space if you hadn't reached out way back in the day.
Well, should I apologize or?
You can apologize to my wife, because she has to put up with me even more about sports. But no, I just, had you not done that, I don't know if I would have ever taken the leap. And it's been nothing but a blessing, and it's opened up doors for me. Our show, I think, has opened up doors, and we have other opportunities. And I think that it's sad, but it's also cool that we're in the position to be in this position. So I'm super grateful for that, dude. Seriously,
we've worked hard for it, man. I mean, like, I don't think a lot of people really know when I started writing and doing all this, like, I didn't make a dime doing it for like all that time. Really, Locked On is the first time I really started seeing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when people ask you, like, how did you start your podcast, or they think you got handed something. You do a lot of work for nothing to get to this point. And Jim and I have done a lot of work for nothing for a long time.
For the love of the game, right?
Yeah, just because we wanted good baseball talk out there. That's all. About this team that probably didn't deserve it. And we did it anyway.
We did it anyway, and we rolled it around in the dirt with them long enough, and I think things are looking up for them. I think things are continuing to look up for both of us, and I hope people that listen and watch and follow, and we should say thank you to you guys, because if no one tuned in, if we didn't get the views, if we didn't get the participation, that would be an answer right there that, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, or maybe we're not good enough to do it, or hey, maybe we just don't know enough. But
fiercely loyal. And I will say this, you didn't come here for the production value ever. So like
or the sexiness. So,
no, never ever. except for when we had Carolyn on. She was really great for the Paul Skeens conversation.
Yes. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Yes.
There you go. So anyways, I don't want to end the show here. I want to do kind of what the United States World Baseball Classic team did and bow out in the middle and then come back and raise back to life to finish talking. I want to talk about the World Baseball Classic, Jim.
So
what we do here is baseball talk, and I don't want to end all sad and shit.
Right.
I want to talk. So Paul Skeens, unreal outing. I thought he was so flawless in that pitching performance. And Mexico, I didn't think that was a slouch of a lineup either. You know what I mean? He was just carving them up. Unbelievable.
It's not exactly, the Dominican lineup, but it's not anything that you can just take for granted.
It could be the Dominican lineup, though, if things go a certain way here in this next round.
Yes, I will see. But yeah, as far as him in that game, I just like the first time Paul Skeens doesn't do well in a moment, it'll be to me like the first time he'll have ever met it himself. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen a guy. Baseball is not a sport where you don't get your ass handed to you every once in a while. And he just never does. Like,
right.
I don't know that I've ever seen anybody like that in this sport where, you take even Tarek Skubal and he'll throw a couple clunkers in a season. Paul Skeens, a clunker for Paul Skeens is 3 runs in 6 innings.
I think he had that one game where he gave up 3 home runs. Like, I think they were all solo shots too, but I think that was probably the worst I've ever seen from him.
Right.
In 2 years?
That's what I'm saying. Like, whether it's the All-Star game, whether it's the World Baseball Classic, whether it's April 1st, whether it's September 28th and he's, going for an ERA of under 2, it's just like, it's constantly the same thing. And I just marvel at that aspect of his game, probably more than anything else with his, metrics and his stats. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's talk about other Buccos before we talk about the World Baseball Classic as a whole, just where it's at.
Okay.
Spencer Horwitz, he's back now in camp, hit a home run for Team Israel. They bowed out pretty early, but he's really looked good all spring, and it carried over, man, into the World Baseball Classic. That was a pretty swing that he put on that ball. Spencer Horwitz might kind of surprise some people and sneak up and produce a little bit more than they're expecting.
I'm really curious to see it for a lot of these guys, like the Horwitzes and the Reynolds and the Cruzes. Cruz, by the way, is also doing really well in the World Baseball
Well, he's
Classic.
next in line, Segway Master. See, here you are just preparing for your new gig. You're going to be a Segway Master over there.
Listen, man, every once in a while I get it right. But I do, like, all these guys, like Horwitz is healthy. I think you might see a totally different start out of him. He could be sneaky this year, man. He really could.
Yeah, I think so too. There's the wife checking in.
Thank you, Megan. And Miles,
Steve,
thank you for
Miles.
saying that as well. We appreciate it. I know I do.
Yep. That's actually a good point here too from Miles. Not that his other point wasn't good. Sorry. But Spencer played a nice second base for Israel. I think, to be honest, and I haven't heard this from Don Kelly or something, but I've heard it. The reason the Pirates were playing around with him at second base was really to help out because they knew he was going to play it on Team Israel. So I don't think that they really intend for him to play a lot of second base for them. So
that actually makes sense. And it doesn't hurt for him to take some reps over there.
I actually heard that a couple weeks ago, and I should have talked. I think I did talk about it on the other show, but not here. So, anyways, There's that. See, there won't be any more of that confusion either, guys. So
Here, you won't have to remember what the hell you said on what day on what
bro,
show.
you know, the only thing I'm not going to miss at all, like, and I have made it. I made it officially. I never once said the wrong show name when I introed this show. The entire time. I thought
You're
sure
right.
that I would, and I didn't do it. That was one of my biggest fears. So O'Neal Cruz, you already brought him up.
Mhm.
Big towering home run. People want to make a big deal that it wasn't a good pitcher or whatever. I understand that.
Because
But
it's easy to hit home runs.
it was still a pitch on the outside corner down that he somehow pulled 450 feet into the upper deck. That's impressive. You know, even if it was batting practice, that's impressive, right? He does have to fight for playing time on that Dominican team. You know, it's not as though he's getting starts, right? Are you okay with him being there, not getting those live game reps? I am, if only because I think he already had a good start to spring, and I think the environment he's in right now, where he's seeing I'm not good enough to be one of those starters, and he's playing with that team. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think this is great for him in a lot of ways. And I think he's away from all the questions and what ifs and what can he be's and that would be happening right here.
It's interesting. I hadn't even really thought about whether it was good for him. Yeah, I just kind of accept though he's these guys make their teams or get invited, so they go. I I think rubbing shoulders with guys you really probably respect and admire.
Yeah.
And there are plenty on that team.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I love the idea of him being there with that club. I do. I think this is a great experience for him in a lot of ways. And I like him being away from the Pirates. He came in okay. He looks okay. Nobody's messing with him. Nobody's telling him anything else to do. You know, I like where he's at. That's good. World Baseball Classic as a whole. Where do you want to start? Guys are pulling out left and right. You know, like we knew Tarek Skubal was going to leave. I thought for a minute that DeRosa might have saved Skubal's bacon, or at least made him look stupid for having to make such a big deal about his decision to stay or not. Right? Because
that's so ridiculous.
Oh my God. That whole dynamic, from the insurance to the guys only playing certain amounts or like dictating, like Boyd just left the team too because he wasn't going to get enough innings as a reliever. We knew he was going to be a reliever when he signed on with the team. So,
all the requirements the teams put on the World Baseball Class, Team USA, about what they do and don't want for their guys, and
there's pitch limits on everybody and in the rounds based by the World Baseball Classic, not the individual team's wishes. Mm-hmm. Like there's a 60 pitch limit, you know, for Paul Skeens the other night, for instance. And that goes up in this next round.
Right. He's gets 95?
I think, but I doubt he'll do it.
What did you make of the Skubal situation? Because
I think the whole thing's been handled dumb.
I will say this, I question whether this is really true. You know, Skubal made it sound like, oh, gee shucks, if I could have just, I had to do what the team said, and I'd love to be here. Well, let me tell you why I will at least say this. The difference between Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal is Paul Skeens will tell you when he's leaving.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the Pirates don't tell Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is not that kind of guy.
I mean, he was pretty upfront about he was only going to go twice too, but he's right. Just as his schedule is,
sure,
this next time he goes, that will be the last time. You know, and I just think Skubal handled it strangely. Like, what's the harm in taking your next turn? like you're gonna pitch anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you didn't want to do it, don't do it.
And I mean, just say like, I wouldn't begrudge him to say like, hey, we have a lot. I have a huge responsibility to the Tigers and what this season means, and I have a huge responsibility to myself being in the situation I am is in the last year of my contract. It's like I would have been like, salute, dude. I totally get it. Like, but then to just do this, like, well, gee, I'd love to stay, and then I'm not, but I'm thinking about it. Like, just I think people would have respected it. Who could blame someone for not?
I'm sure that the vast majority of people don't have a problem with what he just did. But I personally I'm just saying, why would you sign up for the team?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like, is it better to have Tarek Skubal pitch once against a team that you probably could have beat with, I don't know, Bubba? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Or have him like pitch later if he's only going to go once. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you want him to go like in one of the later rounds? Like, you know what I mean? You don't need him to get there. Couldn't they have arranged something like that? Or there's a lot of good pitchers out there.
Oh.
Take another good pitcher. Maybe you don't need both Cy Youngs, especially if they're going to restrict access to their skills.
Yeah. I mean, I would think there would have been more than a handful of guys that would have been like, absolutely. Like, I'd love to go, and they're good enough to do it. Gary, are we taking a break, or are we going to plow right through? Or
we'll take a break.
I want to talk about something about let's talk about DeRosa when we come back, about his flub and yours, and just the overall World Baseball Classic and how you feel it's where we are with it, and do you enjoy it? Are you into it? Let's do that.
Sounds good, brother.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey, welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports one last time. Jim, here
last
we are.
Segment.
WBC, you want to talk about DeRosa. What are your thoughts on DeRosa? And I made the same mistake on my podcast the day before. So DeRosa gave me the perfect way to come on and apologize for being dumb. To somebody that really should have known it.
Well, that's just it. God, it's quite all right if we're wrong once in a while about stuff like that. It doesn't really affect anything. But when you are the manager for Team USA, and it appears that you do not know the rules, I've got dads on Ben's travel team that know the rules on everything better than this guy does about how to advance and runs scored and common opponents.
What do you think about him being the manager in the first place? I mean, when they won this championship, we had Jim Leland, and why not? Why wouldn't you have like a Bruce Bochy or Dusty Baker or somebody, somebody good and retired, or even the guy that the Braves just axed. He was a great coach. They just wanted to move on to somebody else. What about him? Why would you not go that route?
It's interesting because you look at
this was like a Yo MTV show, like with DeRosa. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because I think about like anything that's like Team USA basketball and stuff. Like Coach K does those things, and
it would be like Stephen A. Smith coaching it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it don't make no sense.
It's like Charles Barkley showing up to do it, right? Like
I would think because he cuts it up with them like in the studio, and then now he's I don't know that you can ever get that dynamic to be different. Now, how do you coach a room like that anyway? But
Yeah, because it's way more about just letting a team come together quick and making sure that kind of things run smoothly. So maybe you don't need the traditional guy. I will say I don't believe him when he says he misspoke. He knew it. I don't buy that at all. I don't know how
I
that
don't buy
happened,
that
but
based on his lineup.
and what he did, and yeah, yep. So that could have been. Is there anybody more glad that they advanced and it can
Paul
just?
Skeens is probably.
Well, that's true.
I would think he might have had some choice words. I'm not going to say he would have attacked DeRosa, but I bet he would have not sounded very pleased about the entire experience at that point. I think he'd probably say something if there was something lacking in that room. You know, I can't imagine he just sits there and tolerates it, even at his age, with that room full of stars. Aaron Judge either, frankly.
Yeah, I think there's probably more than a few guys. Paul is now one of them, by the way.
Like they're managing the room, right? So maybe the manager doesn't matter. I just feel like if you have an older guy like Jimmy Leland or Dusty Baker, at least everyone's going to have some modicum of respect for the way they want things done. You can't like sit there and say that it has to be about experience, though. Look what Francisco Cervelli has gotten done with Team Italy. It's insane.
Yeah, and I think
they're a wagon right now, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see teams like that and especially with Cervelli. He's such a character here, and obviously a part of any success the Pirates have had recently. So, yeah, they've been fun to watch. Gary, I will tell you, like, the World Baseball Classic has surprised me in the sense that I really do enjoy it. And I don't know if I think this is why. I am able to not have to think about like money and payroll and the labor stuff with the game, and seeing our guys play with other stars that we don't get to ever see because they're not on the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the game, not that there aren't some things weird with it, like we've just talked about with all the limits and stuff like that, but like,
or all the Americans or Canadians playing for other nationalities,
right?
Yeah, like
there's some of that.
It's a little weird, yeah.
But like, I guess like I get to wash that all off of baseball for a little while and just enjoy like the talent and the collection of players and not have to carry my Pirates baggage with it. I think.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, and it's got a lot of Any Given Sunday in it, and so
sure.
so you kind of like that. And man, how do you not love moments like an electrician striking out Shohei Ohtani?
And high schoolers getting Aaron Judge to ground out.
Yeah, like things like that. That's cool, man. Like that's cool. You know what I mean? And I like that. Overall, the event's fun. I think it means a hell of a lot more to some countries than others. Like I think the Asian teams are, let's just say like Cody Ponce isn't going to go represent Japan, just because he hung out there for a little bit.
All right.
They tend to be more actually, from the countries that they're going to play for. Nick Gonzalez is as American as apple pie playing for Team Mexico. I don't like how they bend all those roles all the time, but
not
so
perfect.
be it. So be it. The only reason I say that is because I think sometimes these other teams, they kind of, oh, well, you're not quite good enough to be on Team USA, but they might take you. Or do you happen to have a ski at the end of your name? Croatia's looking for somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I think it gets a little bit weird. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, there are some things with it. I think they pale in comparison to the stuff we're always dealing with the Major League.
Jim Rosati just chimes in. I'm late. Why is it titled Finn? Well, stick around for about 5 seconds here, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, we've already got to a little bit, but just give us a couple more seconds. But yeah, I just think like the World Baseball Classic, I can enjoy baseball. I can enjoy it. I don't have to think about, payrolls and salary caps and obnoxious fan bases and in the same sense, like the rich, the haves and the have-nots, the Pirates being always stuck in the have-nots. I just watch Bobby Witt. I can just watch Bobby Witt make insane plays, and I can watch Paul Skeens do what he does, and I can watch Pasquantino hit 3 bombs. Like, it's more pure, and there's no pure anymore in sports.
Yeah, and I think it's got a lot of that too. I think maybe that's why some of the ins and outs of the insurance and all that crap was kind of rubbing me the wrong way, because I don't want anything to mess that up. And frankly, I'd rather just have, all minor league players if that's the way it's going to be.
Very interesting to see what the best of the best in college would do against some of these teams.
Yeah, that would be fun too. Well, Jim, listen. We already kind of did it, but you got any final words, man? It's the last one.
Hey, listen, man, I hope everybody has enjoyed this show as much as Gary and I have enjoyed doing it with you guys. By no means is this the end. It's just the end right here for Pirates Fan Forum. And I'm going to be doing lots of cool stuff with Bucko Banter, and Gary's going to keep growing locked on like the beast that he has been. And you'll probably see us every once in a while do something together and get the band back together.
Hey, you know what? Jim is in here upset in the chat, and all I got to say is maybe I'll have time when you ask me to be on North Shore 9 stuff a little bit better.
It's funny. I got some DMs the last couple days about, would you be interested in, not from Jim. Jim and I talk about baseball cards on DMs, but from other shows, and I'm like, well, give me a day or two to, I got to get some things sorted out. I'll get back to you. But yes, in general, hopefully this will free us. It's going to free us both up, and we're going to have fun with it.
Yeah. So anyways, this has been a pleasure, everybody. From start to finish, we've had some of you that have taken the entire ride with us and newcomers along the way. We've had a great time doing this. Thank you to DK Pittsburgh Sports for giving us a platform. I mean, honestly, we can't lie. A lot of the audience comes from that platform being pretty big. So thank you. And yeah, it was a ride, bro. I'm happy we did it. I loved it, and made a great friend that hopefully I'll have for life. For real.
It's one of the first things I think we talked about is that, and why it was important to just come on and talk about it like we do anything else, which is, we're exploring other things, and we didn't want any of the rumor mill out there. Everything's fine. I'm not gonna go TP Gary's house.
No, but think about like all the people in town that have come up from the very bottom and worked their way into something. Alex Stump is a great example of somebody that worked his way from blogging to actually working a beat and having a professional job and working now he's at North Shore 9 doing a show again, right? And things just changed. Noah Hiles came up that way, through that stuff. And even Jason Mackey's had a whole journey here in Pittsburgh. Like, everybody does it at some point. And much like, a much less good looking and less famous and much less rich standing guy, you and I will get together again to much less fanfare, Jim. And
well, we'll think it's important. That's really all that matters. But
that's right.
Yeah, 5 years in this this business, there's so much change, just as Gary just alluded to. So I'm super, super proud of the 5-year body of work we put together here. And again, just to leave it at this, thanks everybody. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's all been good stuff. Thanks everybody so much for all the years. And I think the only person who's watched every episode is probably my mom. So Mom, I apologize to you most of all, because
Love you, Mom.
I know that you love this show, but I do have another one that annoys you 5 days a week. So enjoy that. Without further ado, hey man, one more time, here's our call your shot, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
All right, guys, thanks.